Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmadoo.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today, we're going to take a look at a Relinquished deck that has been pretty successful within the meta, and is just kind of a one-dimensional type of strategy, but it's one that could also be very effective. It requires really a high-level investment as far as a lot of ultra-rare cards that will be very difficult to obtain, but if you're able to make this happen, you'll see a lot of consistency with it. So without further ado, let's just start going into it. The first card that you'll need is as many copies as you can of Senju of the Thousand Hands. It's a level 4 fairy with 1400 attack, 1000 defense. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add one ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So what this will do is this will allow you to search out your ritual monster, in this case being Relinquished, and add Relinquished to your hand that way. And hopefully, if you have your ritual card that you need, you'll already be ready to roll. The next card that we have here is Sonic Bird. It's a level 4 winged beast, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add one ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. So this is helpful as far as also searching out your ritual spell cards, getting those into your hand real quick. So with having a Sonic Bird and a Senju of the Thousand Hands, basically covers both aspects of just trying to get those cards into your hand quicker. Also have multiple copies of Sphere Karibo, the level 1 fiend with 300 attack, 200 defense. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Change the attacking monster to defense position. When you ritual summon a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. So this card's awesome. It effectively acts as a hand trap, and this is why I really want one of these cards real bad, but I've still been going through my Ultimate Rising box set, and pretty far into it, still haven't gotten my Sphere Karibo yet. But this thing is awesome. Your opponent doesn't have to know that you even have a card set or anything like that, because it's sitting there in your hand, and if you want to activate it, you feel free to, and then it'll switch your opponent's monster to defense position while they're trying to attack. And then the secondary effect is that this is exactly all you would need to remove from your graveyard to then ritual summon your Relinquished. So having your Sphere Karibo is just a must-have in general, not just in a ritual deck like this, but in just about any deck because of its nice surprise aspect of it, and being able to just be used or applied as basically a hand-activated trap. So really, really good card, and that's why if you can get multiple copies of it and go run through that box set, if you could acquire this one, you're going to be in good shape. The next one that we have here is the whole backbone of a Relinquished deck, Relinquished. So it's the level 1 ritual monster with a spellcaster, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Black Illusion Ritual. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card. You can only equip one monster at a time to this card with this effect. This card's attack and defense become equal to that equipped monster's. If this card would be destroyed by battle, destroy that equipped monster instead. While equipped with that monster, any battle damage you take from battles involving this card inflicts equal effect damage to your opponent. So all around, just a powerful card. If your opponent has nothing to clear your back row or to clear the equipped card, and they have to run into your Relinquish to start trying to defeat it, they're gonna start taking some effect damage themselves. So that's the really nice part about this card. It's just all around just an absolute beast of a ritual monster. It doesn't matter what your opponent has. If they got a Blue Eyes White Dragon on their side of the field, you could just snatch that up, and boom, you get the 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense just based off of attaching that card to your Relinquished. So that's the nice thing. Also in this deck, there's a copy of Sergeant Electro. It's the level 4 machine, 1,600 attack, 1,300 defense. Once per turn, you can target one face-down card your opponent controls in the spell and trap card zone. While this card is face-up on the field, its target cannot be activated. The thing that I like about this card is that you can use its effect over and over again as long as it's still on the field. So that's why, you already selected one face-down card that your opponent controls in one turn. Then the next turn, you target a different face-down card. So your opponent's back row can effectively become useless as long as your Sergeant Electrode is still hanging out on the field. So yeah, if you can, this is one card that will go just not just in this deck, but just about any good deck. So now we're going to move into some of the spell and trap cards. There's a copy here of Enemy Controller. If you haven't learned what this one is by now, it's the quick play spell card where you activate one of the following effects. You can either target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change the target's battle position, or tribute one monster, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls and take control of that target until the end phase. So in this deck, I think this will be pretty useful in the sense that you can use the second effect of your enemy controller to tribute one of your own monsters, whether that be YuGiOh of the Thousand Hands or Sonic Bird or anything like that. Tribute one of those monsters, take control of one of your opponent's other monsters, say if they have multiple monsters on the field, and you could use that one as ritual material to bring out your Relinquished. And then you could capture your opponent's other monster, hopefully the stronger one. Then you take control of that monster, and you're basically just going to be attacking your opponent's life points directly with a pretty strong attack power. So that's a pretty good combo play that you could do with that. Next, we have 2 copies of Black Illusion Ritual. This card can be used to ritual summon Relinquished. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 1 or more. So that's the ritual spell in order to get your Relinquished out there. It can be searched out by Sonic Bird and all that stuff. So just an all-around good card, of course, if you want to make your Relinquished. If you don't have Black Illusion Ritual, then sorry, you won't be able to use Relinquished. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, moving forward, there's also a copy of Storm. Destroy as many spell or trap cards you control as possible, then destroy as many spell or trap cards your opponent controls as possible, up to the number of cards destroyed by this effect. So this could come in handy in certain situations if you lay down a lot of cards that may not be the most useful in your current situation. Activate Storm, and you can start clearing out your opponent's back row depending on how many cards that you destroyed. There's also a copy here of Fulfillment of the Contract. It's an equipped spell card where you pay 800 life points and select one ritual monster from your graveyard, special summon it, and it's equipped with this card. When this card is destroyed, remove the equipped monster from play. So yeah, you really only need 1 or 2 copies at most of this if you're only running 2 copies of Relinquished in your deck, because once it's done and over with, the card is then removed from play, so it's not like you're going to get it back. Next, we have Wild Tornado. It is a super rare trap card where you select one face-up card in the spell and trap zones and destroy it. The controller of the destroyed card can then set one spell or trap card from their hand. If this set card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, select and destroy one face-up card on the field. So this comes into play really well if you're using Storm, because what that'll do is destroy your own card, in effect activating its effect to destroy one of your opponent's monsters or another one of their maybe a field spell card or something like that. So you could use this card in a multitude of ways, and it's just an excellent combo. Okay, next we have Interdimensional Matter Transporter. You target one face-up monster you control and banish that target until the end phase. So if there's something that you really don't want your monster being exposed to, say you don't want your Relinquished being exposed to an attack or an effect, activate Interdimensional Matter Transporter and banish it, and then you'll just get it back at the end phase. So, I don't know, it just depends on the situation. Next here you got a copy of Skull Lair, and you remove from play any number of monster cards in your graveyard to destroy one face-up monster on the field whose level is equal to the number of cards you remove from play. So if your opponent has a pesky level 4 monster, or a pesky level 3 monster, or even a pesky level 6 monster, remove that many monsters from your graveyard from play by activating Skull Lair, and you can remove that monster. So yeah, it's just a good way to help clear the board, especially later on in the duel. The more monsters you have sitting in your graveyard, the more useful Skull Lair is. So, yeah, excellent card overall. So, in a nutshell, that's just kind of the whole overview of this ritual deck now, with having the copies of YuGiOh of the Thousand Hands and having copies of Sonic Bird and all that stuff. You can end up doing a similar deck build with just about any ritual monster using those major pieces. So, of course, I'm just using this Relinquished deck as an example right now, because this is something that I've played around with. Now, I don't have, like I said, I don't even have a Sphere Karibo, and I don't have many copies of YuGiOh or Sonic Bird, but the concept is there, and if you have the resources to go out and get multiple copies of these cards, moving forward you're going to be able to build just about any solid ritual deck with these key components. So if you've done something similar as far as ritual monster builds and you've had success with it, or maybe not so much success with it, I'd love to hear about your experiences with it. Reach out on Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk. Again, that's at YuGiOh Deck Talk, all one word. And I'd love to hear about your experiences. And if there's any tips or tricks that you want to tell the listeners too, let me know, and I'll be happy to bring it up in a future episode. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.